Welcome to the DL Gaming Podcast. This episode, we're going to be talking about SKALD against the Black Priory. Who's the Priory? What are they doing? Supervive and Slay the Spire. But first, my name is Christian.
I'm Bobby.
I'm recovering from a spiritual trip in the desert with a couple of fun guys. But other than that, having a great time. Glad to see you guys again. Missed last week. And let's get the party started.
Okay. Well, we didn't put a plug in, but did we thank JBet Quest? We can do it twice. He's such a good patron. Yeah.
Thanks again, bud. You get a double one, dude. 2 for 1. This week, we didn't announce it, but this whole month we're doing 2 thanks for 1 patron, dude.
Yes.
So if you guys do it, you're going to get 2 consecutive episode thank yous.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there. You got 10 days to get that in, by the way.
Bye. All right. On the show, we quickly ping things, and Bobby is bringing us an exciting bit of news this week.
Yes, there's a Star Wars RTS game that is supposed to be revealed in April. Now, this is a leak, so we don't know for sure if it's going to happen, but this is the Star Wars RTS game that was announced back in 2022 by Respawn, makers of Titanfall. Also, some help from Bit Reactor. I guess they've worked on games like XCOM, Civ, Gears of War, and Elder Scrolls Online. I'm a little surprised that they've got an RTS game coming out. I mean, I know we love the genre, some of us do, but I don't see that as a very popular genre. Number one, you don't see a lot of RTSs on console. It's kind of an only PC type genre. But you know what? I'll take it. I'm always glad to see anything Star Wars. Still waiting on that tactical turn-based Star Wars game, but I'll take an RTS. This is interesting that they are going to release this, though, because EA did cancel Respawn's first-person Mandalorian game back in February of 2024. But it looks like this one is going to happen.
Isn't Mandalorian getting a movie? I heard that recently.
Doesn't need a movie. Come on. I don't want to poo-poo. Maybe it will be great. Why am I poo-pooing something that hasn't even come out? This being an RTS is crazy. I thought it was a turn-based tactical game. I mean, they make XCOM, Civilization, like turn-based. They haven't made an RTS before, it seems.
I'm wondering if it'll be a traditional RTS or if it's going to have RTS elements and be something else. That's kind of my guess. But either way, I'm kind of excited about that.
Did they make the Gears of War RTS? Or no? Oh, that was turn-based tactical.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's a card-based RTS roguelike. I'm calling it.
Everything's got cards in it.
Yeah. All right, Emilio, what do you got?
I was hoping Days was going to be here because she likes these ladies so much. But the Dead or Alive publishers this is just like a headline that it's one of those things that like a gotcha headline, but then I click it and it's like even worse than the headline puts it. So Dead or Alive publishers request between 2,000 or 3,000 takedowns of works of inappropriate fan art annually because it thinks it thinks of their game's characters like daughters. So I click on it and they pay somebody to go around the internet and request inappropriate stuff to be taken down about their sexual pinup dolls that they think of as like innocent children. Meanwhile, they have mad jiggle physics and like it's clearly jack off material for sure. And then I guess they said that they weren't going to they were going to tone down the jiggle physics and they didn't. And then the next game in the series is a dating sim with photo mode. It's crazy. But so this is what I'm thinking.
What is going on here?
I'm thinking that they take down, they want to be the only source of the smut of these characters. It's less of protecting their virtue and more of virtually getting more money.
Okay, that makes sense. The daughters thing was just a slip up on a panel. They were like, we think of them like our daughters, and everyone was like, wait, what? Roll that one back.
Your daughters are a bunch of sluts.
Yeah. Wow.
Christian, what you got?
All right. Anno 117 AD posted one tweet. They said, January 17th, what a fitting day to say that we're back on the road. Where does it lead? What will we see on the way? Stay tuned. The picture accompanying this tweet is just of a curved road. The community is going rabid. There's theories everywhere. There's like, finally, curved roads in an Anno series. It's like this artistic drawing, not of in-game, of a curved road leading to like a city. And people are like, curved roads confirmed. Curved roads in an Anno game. Let's go. Everyone is losing their minds. I thought it was so funny because I'm not sure, but I don't know if it means what people want it to mean, basically. So will there? Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen one of those games played. It's a grid, I'm guessing.
It's a grid-based
hard grid.
city builder. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe they're taking a little bit from like Manor Lords or something where it's like a little more organic.
Maybe, dude. Or maybe they just have some nice art for their game at the roads. I don't know. We'll see. To be determined if Anno 117 will have curved roads. But I am super excited for this title, both because Anno's a great series and just the time period this game is set in. And if there are curved roads, I would also be losing my mind. If I see gameplay of curved roads, that's bought for sure.
Question for you guys about something like this. You know, when like a trailer comes out or a teaser and it's like 15, 25 seconds, and then somebody on YouTube like goes by and watches it slow motion and analyzes every single thing to get every drop of information. And do you guys watch those? If it's something that you're like super in, or you rather just not?
I don't think I watch them. I don't watch trailer reactions unless I've seen unless it's going to be like a really funny clip of someone being super surprised. Or I love the ones of people's first reactions watching Star Wars. That's not really a trailer, but like a full react to like a movie or something. Yeah.
Well, I have you both here. So Luna's 5, right? So she's going to be getting close to Star Wars age here pretty soon. I'm thinking 8, maybe. Anyway, do you start with the original trilogy, or do you start with do you go in order? What do you do? What's the answer here?
I think I recently watched Star Wars with someone who has never watched Star Wars, and we started at 4, 5, and 6, and just basically watched them in the order they were released, and they found that good. So,
but were they 5 years old?
No. And as a 5-year-old, you're going to appreciate a Jar Jar Binks first, right? Hit him with the Binks.
Hit him with the Binks.
Bobby, what?
I don't know.
Not 5. I'm going to wait till she's like 8 or 9.
Okay. Honestly, and this is probably not going to be a popular answer, but I think the newest trilogy would probably be the best for a really young kid, because the original trilogy is, I don't know, it's a little too dated for little kids to grab onto. They're not really going to enjoy it. I mean, they might, but probably not if they're really young. And then the prequels, I think, are just too confusing. Like, I still don't know what's happening in the second one. I need the cliff notes on that. But the third one, I think, is specifically designed for little kids. And I think that's why a lot of the older Star Wars fans didn't really like it. But I don't know. I think if they're that young, then probably the newest trilogy.
The third trilogy. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's good advice, actually. Yeah. Yeah. What do you mean you don't know? Okay. Siphon Dyas, first of all, buys a clone army. Has nothing to do with Palpatine. Something happens. It's very clear, Bobby. Just get with it. Highlights. So these are the games we talked about at the beginning and that we've been playing this week. And we're going to figure out who is against what Priory here, I think, Bobby.
Yeah, I'm going to be talking about SKALD against the Black Priory. So first question we're all asking is, what's a priory? I looked it up. It's like a monastery or a nunnery. So yeah, I know that was on everybody's mind. But this game is really, really good. And it's one of those games that's it's good. And it's like, I don't really have too much to say about it. So it's a retro CRPG with Lovecraftian dark fantasy settings and themes. And it's very much harkens back to the old days of CRPGs. It's got tactical turn-based combat, so it kind of feels like a real lo-fi Divinity Original Sin. But I think the closest comparison I can draw is the Ultima games from the 80s. There's probably a few other games that it's similar to that I'm not as familiar with, but it is very much like those ones where it's just like real lo-fi graphics, RPG, lot of D&D mechanics and elements in it, dice rolls, all sorts of things like that. It even simulates the old PC gaming with scan lines and CRT options. It kind of works to its disadvantages sometimes because there's some legibility problems with the game. It's kind of hard. I don't know, when games go too lo-fi, I don't really like it. Like, it's just, I don't know, it becomes a legibility issue, specifically in this case with the text. Now, they do give you options, and I didn't discover this till later, but they give you options to change the text, and there's another option that is way easier to read. So I'd recommend switching over to that. But the retro graphics are definitely cool there. I mean, I enjoy that style as long as they don't go too far into it. The complaints I have about the game are the usual ones I have about all these RPG games. There's just way too much dialogue, and sometimes it's text dialogue, which I think makes it even worse. If a character drones on and there's voice acting, okay, maybe that's not too bad and I can skip through it. But when it's text dialogue, and I just see a paragraph pop up on screen, I'm like, ugh, I don't know. It causes a visceral negative reaction in me when I'm playing a video game and I see like 5 paragraphs pop up on screen. I'm just like, well, that's never getting read. I hope nothing important was in there. I hope like the secret to the passage or the code to unlock something wasn't in there, because I'm not reading that shit.
He doesn't like to read, this guy. He can't.
Not in video games.
I know you can read, but is it something with being on a digital screen? It's like, what is the issue?
When I play video games, like I don't know. I don't want to read. I don't know.
Okay, me neither. You don't want to work, really, and reading is work at some level, right?
Reading is work?
Yeah, because it's, you're doing something. It's
well, I mean, there's some games where reading is the video game, but for me, it's just like when I play a video game, like I want certain things out of it. I want like some sort of interactivity, and like if I wanted to read, I'd go pick up a book,
Right.
It's just,
you don't mix your mediums, Bobby. I've realized just now, I want to watch a movie. I'm not going to fuck around with TV, a long movie. I will never watch a TV show. If I'm going to play a game, I'm not going to read. I'll read a book.
Then again, there are some games that do a really good job with text, and I'm thinking of Disco Elysium. There's a good example. That's okay, but I don't know. When it comes to a CRPG, like what I want to do is customize my characters. I want to figure out the puzzles. I want to build the talent trees. I want to do all that cool stuff. That's what I'm in it for.
Is this the game I bought you, Bobby?
It is. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Did you like it, Bobby? I can't.
I did. Okay. I actually got kind of hooked on this game this week.
You would never have known that.
I know, because I have a hard time with these RPGs, and they just tried to overload you with the stories. Plus, I have a tough time with like D&D mechanics. Like, I don't understand sometimes how the movement points and the action points work, and it's different in each video game. So when I was playing this one, my main character was a cleric, like a paladin type character. So he's got like melee abilities, but he also casts spells, and he does a little bit of everything. So sometimes I could cast a spell and then also attack, and then sometimes I'd cast a spell and then it was like end of turn for that character and on to the next one. So I don't know, that always happens to me when I play these types of games. Like I'm always making mistakes because I don't understand like how that stuff works. And maybe if I was more familiar with the rules of D&D, I'd understand that a little bit more. But
do you think,
I don't know,
Emilio, I'm just shouting out loud here, do you think maybe these are written down just somewhere?
No, I'm going to assume that spell that you cast uses 2 action points because it's more powerful than a regular spell. But that's just my
Well, every game's got its different take on these two.
for sure.
So this one, it has like movement points. Like you get 3 movement points, 1 action point. But if you use the action point, then it uses up all the movement points. Like that's the end of the movement phase. You just skipped it. But yeah, there's things that just don't like add up when I'm doing things. So I don't know. I'm pretty early into this game. I'm like 4 hours into it, and I've beaten like they start you off with a prologue. Why are there always a ship? It's always a shipwreck in the prologue with these games too.
It's such a convenient storytelling device. I feel like
it's a good way to kick off the story, I suppose. So I'm through the prologue, but I'm also through like the first major island, and I can tell there's like some sort of big checkpoint, maybe a boss fight coming up that I'm gonna have to get through to get to the next area. But this is, a lot of games that I play and talk about on the podcast here, I have no intention of going back and playing, but this one I will. Like I'm actually really
that's exciting.
into this one.
I would love to hear more about in the future. How long to beat says 20 hours if you read the text and 14 hours if you skip.
Yeah.
So not too much more time that you have to put into that one.
I don't know what else I would have to say about this, honestly, if I kept playing it, because I know this game doesn't do like anything different than any other game that you've played out there. It just does it really well, and it does it in that like retro style that I really like. So I don't know if I'm going to have like any new hot takes or big
just tell us
breaks
about the
on
boss fight, dude. I want to hear specifics.
Do I know Bobby? Dude? I fucking randomly sent him that game and he liked it.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious, where did you find this game? Because I had never heard of this one.
It was on my feed, and I was like,
I
oh, this looks good. I saw how well it was doing with the overwhelming reviews and stuff, and then I was like, $10, but I don't have the time. Let me throw this time sink at somebody else, basically. And I know if I buy you something, you're gonna at least try it. So yeah, it was worth $10 it was $11 for you to like, for the chance of you liking it, my friend.
Yes.
Bobby.
I was a little worried at first because I was like, as soon as I started playing it, I was like, ooh, this is going to be a big game. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, but you know what? It's something that I'll play from time to time again because I really am enjoying it. And it's not something that I feel like I can get lost in either, like, or not be able to re-engage if I take too much time off of. But yeah, SKALD against the Black Priory. I'd recommend it.
They like their Steam page is so well filtered to the type of user they want. Like, look at their marketing material here. It looks like it's in the front of the CD case, dude. The people who look at this page know what they want to buy, and that's why that review percentage is so high, because ain't no one picking this up accidentally, I don't think.
Yeah. And
That's cool,
the video that they have on the Steam page, it's like a Nintendo commercial from like back in the day. Like they're really playing up the retro angle. Like they know their audience.
Nice.
Good. And you should. I played Supervive. That was the only game I kind of played. I played a little Path of Exile 2 this week too, but mostly it was Supervive. JPDiddy and I got a game night together. It was a good like 3 or 4 hours. That's so like good for me and rare that like we ask our significant others on our birthdays if we can do that. Like it's very rare that me and him have like a really good sesh, and we just randomly had a good sesh, which is great. And right now it's so great because we have so many options, man. We have Path of Exile 2, we have a Wind Blown, we have Supervive, and we have Commander for Magic the Gathering. So there's always like, we can jump around or something new. So it's really good. So we decided to warm up with Supervive, and I played maybe one-offs here and there, but it's been a while. And the first game we ever played together, John and I, we won. We chicken dinnered, right? And it was crazy. It's first game ever. So we start playing. First game, whatever, is kind of like a wash, out fifth. Second game, we're out like second. Really quick games, because when you're playing duos, there's like 20 other teams. For those who don't remember what Supervive is, sorry. It's a MOBA type battle royale. You drop in like in any other battle royale on this like rocket thing. You have a top-down perspective. You kill mobs and you level up, like random mob spawns, you level up. Or if you kill people, you also level up. You get stronger, you get equipment. There's 50 different mechanics, and their tutorial is exceptional. Like, it's very rare that something with this many mechanics just kind of clicks for me, and it just instantly clicked for me, which is saying a lot. It's saying a lot. It's funny because like you have these hero action games or whatever, and they all come with their crew of characters, and it's just like after a while it's just like it takes a lot for you to be like, oh, there's actually some interesting characters here. And this game did it somehow. Somehow their roster has a couple of like things that you're like, this, I haven't seen this before. I mean, from the color, from the music, from the basically everything except for their practice mode, which is still good because you could take any hero in there and practice with them, that part is great. Just the implementation isn't. That's the only thing that I maybe can poo-poo a little bit. Anyway, so we play duos, and then the third game we chicken dinner. I say chicken dinner because that's from PUBG. When you win, you're the last person standing, last team standing, and then we run it back again and get another chicken dinner, and then on the fourth game, I think we took second. I think we took one more fucking first place. And
bro, you guys are going pro.
Well, either there's two things going on. One, their matchmaking is exceptional because John's a brand new player, so they're just throwing brand new people at us. Or two, I think maybe there's some bots because some people were very sus at their skill levels. But if they're new, then they wouldn't know otherwise. But yeah, we have this little combo that just works so well. I have a guy that puts up a shield, and he has a flamethrower, so we just get close, and I protect him and just burn everybody down, make the world burn. It's so much fun. Yeah. And I also think because it's in early access, so it's probably I would release this game if I was them. Like it's a done thing. There's many AAA games that come out less functional than this game, and if it releases in 2025, I think it's a contender for Game of the Year.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. I've been playing some Marvel Rivals, and the first match I played, I sniffed the bots in the air. Like I was like, yeah, I did so good. And then I was like, wait a second. Yeah. Like, what are the chances that me with a baby in my arm, don't know any of the characters, randomly hitting left trigger, right trigger, playing on my TV that's being streamed from a Steam Deck that's being streamed from my computer. So who knows what the input lag is like holding an Xbox controller, right? So we got, and I'm just trampling, and I'm like, yeah, and then I'm like, probably not. That's probably the old potato that we got going there.
Question here, Bobby, did you end up playing Rivals?
Very little.
Okay,
Very
did
little.
you end up playing Jeff?
No, not yet.
Okay, so I played Jeff, and he's exactly what you want, dude.
Okay.
He is. It's the easiest thing I've ever done in my life, dude. If there's something bad on your screen, you right click. If there's something good on your screen, you left click. That's pretty much it. And you hit shift if something's hitting you. It's fucking awesome.
I don't know.
He's so easy mode.
We had a good
little boring though.
He helps your team out a lot though.
We had a good little DLG game night of Marvels going full Marvel roster in the Discord. That was really fun. But we got carried by Daze's partner. He had like 27 kills, and I was like, "Oh, this match is really easy." And he's like, "Yeah, it was." And then we looked at the stats. We're like, he got 35 kills again. He got 27. We're being hard carried. And I still don't know what I'm doing. But Groot, I am Groot.
Great.
Yeah. Anything else on the of Supervive? I want to play this game.
It's free. Go fucking play.
Yeah, I need to test out on the Steam Deck because Perfect. top down on the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Go close to the router.
Chris,
It could work.
stop making babies and fucking play some video games, huh?
Okay. Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to talk about a game you both have played, and everyone probably listening to this has played because it came out in 2019. That is Slay the Spire, the card-based roguelike. And to Emilio, who's, I think, about to leave us. Yeah, that's okay. To Bobby.
I can stick around. Go ahead.
To Emilio, can you just remind everyone about the difference between a roguelike and a roguelite?
Yes, because I have a roguelite coming up later up in the show on but this is a I don't remember Slay the Spire. It's been a while. But the difference is a roguelike is harder in a lot of ways because you don't improve your stats or anything in between runs. You may, a lot of times you unlock possibilities, but those possibilities aren't guaranteed and they are also random. So it doesn't matter. You might get it or you might get it or might not get it on the next run. A roguelite is your account or your playthrough is getting stronger every time you play it. So you might get gold that you spend on a castle, and the castle has buffs for your warrior, and so you're always getting stronger through every death. But a roguelite, like Binding of Isaac, you never get stronger. It's just more things can now happen. Yes.
Yeah. You said,
yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. And so this is a roguelike, and I don't think I've played a roguelike in a long time. I was like, oh, I'm not getting stronger. This is what one of these games feels like when I die. And it's all for nothing, but it's still obviously so fun. So why am I playing this? Because it's 6 a.m. when I'm up. Mara's sleeping after I've fed her and I still have to watch her. And I just want to be able to jump in and jump out, if she wakes up or if I need to go around the house, do a chore, make some coffee. It's just really easy to jump in and jump out because I don't have to pause. It's turn-based card battler. It just pauses as soon as I step away from the game. There's no extra things I need to put in. And that's exactly the type of game I need in the morning. And then I wanted to play it for my game education. So everyone talks about this game, but I've never played it. One time, me and Bobby played Warcraft 3, and there was a Slay the Spire custom map. And I was so embarrassed because he was like, oh, I know what they're doing here. This is pretty cool. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm dying every time. And so it was time to play this game, basically. So winning and losing to me felt so satisfying because, like, when I lost, I was like, yeah, little too much risk, not enough reward. I'm flying too close to the sun. I'm feeling these wax wings. And when I win, it feels like, oh, I did, I was safe, but not too safe. I risked it and it paid off. And I played safe, but aggressive. And there's always that like fine line to walk in this game. And it feels really good when you successfully do that. My favorite character was the Watcher, because you are switching through a bunch of different stances. And so it's like, not only are you managing the risk and rewards of like the cards and whether you challenge like a big boss, but you're also managing the risk and rewards of having higher defense or taking double damage, or if you enter Nirvana, doing triple damage and taking triple damage. So it's just the funnest of the characters because of the additional risk reward. And I wanted to ask you guys, since you played this game, what is your favorite Slay the Spire character? I'm wondering if it like is indicative of your personalities at all or something.
Bobby's like, no, dude, you go with optimal build. It doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't matter.
No, actually, the Watcher was my favorite character too. I did the best with her. Although I did really start to get into their new character, which I think was the defect. New character at the time. I mean, it's been 3 or 4 years since I played this game, but I think they're all really enjoyable. But for some reason, like the Watcher just worked for me.
Nice. Emilio?
Isn't there a poison guy? Yep.
Yeah,
I think that's the Silent.
I really liked trying to make him work. I don't know if I ever, like the warrior just always seemed so strong. but I really like trying to get the poison mechanics to work and stack up, and yeah, that was really cool. I'm glad you're enjoying I like that you're calling attention to the things that I like most about roguelikes. Risk versus reward is one of the top. There's like 3 things that really draw me to them. Risk versus reward, randomness. You never know what you're gonna get, and Slay the Spire was maybe the first game with that branching pathway where you can kind of decide what you're gonna go do. But
I'm going to talk about that. Well, why don't I try it now?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That branching pathway was actually inspired by FTL. They were talking about in like a developer interview or something. Yep.
I love fucking FTL.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
So things you might not know about this game. Originally, the enemies didn't show their intended action. It was just you had to guess if they were going to attack, defend, or use some sort of special ability. And as they were playtesting the game, people were like, "This isn't fun. It's so frustrating." And some cards only did things if someone attacked or defended, and you just wouldn't have the payoff of knowing what they were going to do. So it was like really unsatisfying to play a card and then not have it do anything, not have it basically have any effect. And so they eventually put the intended action, but then they didn't put the value. So like, hey, he's going to attack, but you don't know for how much. And then people were like, well, I don't know how much to defend then. Am I supposed to defend with 12 or 200? Like, I don't know what's happening. And so eventually they showed the value and people were like, this is it. When I was like researching why this game was like so popular and so good, I guess the developers were talking a lot about how much playtesting they did even before releasing in early access. Like they really gave it to all their friends and family, anyone who would play the game, to get their opinion on it. And so they went through all this iterative stuff. Amelia, were you going to jump in? I thought maybe I cut you off there.
No, I kind of forgot my train of thought.
Okay.
I like you thinking about it. I like what you're saying.
Yeah. So the progressing through the different pathways was inspired by FTL. Thought that was cool because FTL was the first, I guess, one of these types. It was the first rogue anything that I've ever tried. So it's cool to see that inspiration. And then the developer was talking about all this playtesting they did, but when they released in early access, they credited streamers the most because their playtesters, their friends and family or people of their community, would be pretty coy. Not coy, that's not the right word, but they just wouldn't give it like it actually is. And a streamer playing the game doesn't give a fuck. They're going to be like, this is shit. This is stupid. And so they watched all these streams, and during early access, that was their main feedback loop. They would just watch streamers and be like, oh, we need to change this. We need to make this more clear. Get rid of this card. Everyone hates it.
That's fantastic, dude, to be able to be open to criticism like that, you know?
Yeah.
There's usually a hint of truth in most criticisms. Yeah. Whether or not if it's like how amplified it is within the criticism, like how is it a hint of truth or is it completely true? But there's something there, you know?
Well, I think, and some people who play or review games, their critiques aren't always, I don't know if they always give good critiques, but then there's some people who play and they're very like deadpan. They played a lot of these games. They know what they're talking about. And I think, you should pay attention to them. And sometimes developers will like, that's a good point you bring up, being so open to criticism. They'll like jump into a stream and be like, backseat game, be like, oh, it's because you didn't find the potion on level 2. And it's just like, dude, like you're ruining this. Like this isn't what this is about.
It's so brilliant, dude, because a lot of companies pay for this kind of feedback, right? But when you're paying, or if you have a survey, like Marvel Rivals has a survey, like every time you play or something, I know that the developers are going to be reading that at some level. So maybe I'm being nicer than I actually would be or whatever. Like I'm not being a little bit nicer, but like you said, they don't give a fuck. Fucking streamers are being outright honest because they don't know that they're talking to the devs. They're talking to their friends or whatever. Yeah.
And if the dev shows up in chat and be like, I'm a dev, then of course, because you don't want to, you're going to mitigate it. Yeah. So, when it released in 2017, it sold 2,000 copies in the first week. Like that is if you are a game company and that is your performance and you have like multiple people's bills you need to pay and like investors you need to pay back, that's not great. Like 2,000 copies and that's like terrible. But by 2019, so only 2 years later, it had sold 1.5 million. And they were laughing, of course, because they released the game. Everyone loved it through all this feedback they did. And I don't know, it's just like a cool success story. Like, how would it feel in the first week? Only 2,000 copies. You put all this work into the game. You've been developing it for like 4 years. It must not feel. I just wonder what was going through their head at that time. They were like, "God damn it! Like it didn't really work out for us." You know?
Yeah, for sure. At the first week,
I wonder because you play the game and it's just a good game. They must have known like we've got something here, and maybe just people haven't woken up to it yet or realized it yet. But
that's the
when
problem,
you play that
though,
game,
dude.
it
Like,
is a solid game.
Some games are great and never get their break. You know, just no streamer picked it up. It never caught fire.
Didn't get the DLG bump.
Yeah, never got the DLG bump.
You know, that is true, but not with a game like this. Like as soon as I touched this game, I was just like, oh my God, dude, I'm hooked. Yeah. In fact, I just bought it right now because when I played it, I was playing it off Emilio's account, and you can't, you don't have the family share anymore, right? They're getting rid of that, and it's on sale right now for $8.50. So yeah, they just sold one more copy here.
Nice.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that they getting rid of family share.
Oh no, they're changing it to have more local rules. So I think because you guys are both pretty close in San Diego, that might work for you, but like I probably shouldn't be a part of your guys' family anymore in Canada because then Valve would be like, it's not really your family if they're a little too far for family.
If you go into the Steam settings, they had a warning up because I was looking at it recently that they had a warning like, FYI, this is changing. This is for households. So they might just track it down to like the public IP that you're coming from. So I don't know if it's going to work. Regardless, I'd rather have my own copy so I can play it anytime I want. I had to put that game down because I was just too hooked on it. Then I got really into Monster Train. And then to be honest with you, Deep Rock Galactic Survivor has been my like go-to, like I need to kill half an hour just to give my brain a break from whatever else I'm doing kind of game. Yeah. But I have always wanted to go back to Slay the Spire. The new one's coming out in 2025, right? We don't know when.
We don't know when. Yeah. They did that cheeky thing, the 4, then the 5. Yeah. Or was it the 6th and the 5? I forget what they did at the Game Awards, but they announced it with that trailer. Yeah.
Okay.
Christian, I've always had this issue with this game, and I always will. I hate the art.
I hate the art too, dude. It kept me away for so long. For so long. I looked at the screenshots on Steam. I was like, I can't enjoy this. Bro, so enjoying
the mechanics. Yeah. And then it's funny, I hated the art on Monster Train. It kept me away but Monster Train's fucking awesome, dude. I actually prefer Monster Train.
Oh, really? Okay. Maybe I'll check that one out next. Yeah, because this was a real eye-opener for me. I'm glad you're going back to it, Bobby, too. That's cool.
It seems like Monster Train seems like an evolution from Slay the Spire. I think.
Okay. Monster Train is really good, but it is different. So it's not going to be like, I don't know. I don't see it as like better than Slay the Spire. I just see it as different, but I think I put more hours into Monster Train than I did with Slay the Spire.
Well, this house is excited for Slay the Spire 2. So it's going to be developed in Godot because of the Unity engine licensing changes. So they started in Unity. They were like, what the fuck? You're going to charge per time play? What is this? What is this? So they changed to Godot, which is the open source game engine that a lot of developers are switching to. And there's a new character, which I thought might be up Emilio's alley, the Necrobinder. Some sort of necromancer, dude. It's calling. It's knocking on your door.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so that was Slay the Spire. You might see me pop on that on Steam if we're friends at 6 a.m. Don't worry, I'm not addicted. I'm just feeding my daughter. It's all good. On the radar, so these are games that we haven't played, but they've caught our attention. And seems like got the last ticket here for something, Bobby. What's going on?
Oh my God.
I'm the worst transitioner. For sure, I'm the worst transitioner. Yeah.
That's okay. The game I'm talking about on the radar this week is Last Train Out of Wormtown. And this is an interesting little game here. It's an asymmetrical versus game, very similar to Friday the 13th, Dead by Daylight, or even Evolve. I don't think Friday the 13th is still around, but those other two are. Well, Evolve isn't either. These games don't stick around a whole lot because they need a player base to make them viable, unfortunately. In the case with Friday the 13th, that was actually some legal rights that IP has been caught up in all sorts of legal trouble, which is why we haven't seen a Friday the 13th movie in a long time. But this is one of those games where you have one player playing a giant sandworm, just like from Tremors or Beetlejuice. Runs around under the sand, or Dune even. Runs around underneath the sand, tries to eat the other players, which are cowboys that are trying to work together to complete tasks so they can escape the town. So it's
Tremors.
It's basically Tremors. And the sandworm can see the players when they walk on the ground, just like in Tremors. They feel the vibrations. Christian, have you seen Tremors?
I knew that might be coming, and I haven't. I've downloaded it, or I've acquired it legally, but I've not. I've not pressed play yet because I've been told it's like one of the perfect movies. Quote. Like E.T.
The first one is, well, I don't know if you want to compare E.T. and Tremors, but yeah, the first one's a lot of fun.
Okay.
It's great, dude.
Yeah, it's just a good time. Good old classic Kevin Bacon. They made like 13 other ones. You don't need to bother with those, except the second one with the mini Tremors. That one was kind of good, but it's really all about the first one. But the idea is that they're in this like remote town, and these sandworms come and try to eat them all up. So they have to jump on top of buildings because they figure out it can feel the vibrations when they're walking on the ground. So that's exactly what Last Train Out of Wormtown does. When the players are walking on the ground, the sandworm sees them, tries to eat them. And it's also got other types of abilities it can use to assist them with that. It's a cool idea. And the game looks pretty good. I think this is like a solo dev here, a very small team. It just released or came out of early access. So hopefully it does well. But here's what I really like about this game. And this is just a fantastic idea. The game is $11.99. It's $12, but only the host needs to purchase the game. Everybody else, you can play this with up to 16 people, by the way.
Wow.
16 people in a lobby. Everybody else can download the Friend Pass from Steam and join a game that is hosted by someone who paid the $12.
That's so smart. That's awesome. Yeah.
We've seen this before with other games, usually co-op games. What was the Joseph Ferris game before he made it?
It Takes Two. Oh, no, Tale of Brother of Two Sons.
The one after that. The one in between. A Way Out.
A Way Out.
A Way Out. Yeah. So they did it with that game. I don't think they did it with It Takes Two. But we've seen games like this where it's like a co-op multiplayer experience and they have the Friend Pass. But I've never seen one like this where it's like, dude, you can get the Friend Pass for 15 people and then one person gets the game. Because honestly, are you going to sell 16 copies of this game? Like if we're going to have a game night, or is everybody going to cough up $12 to play this game?
Probably not, dude, but one person will. One person will.
One person totally would. Shit. So that's an incredible way to do this. And I'd like to see that more, especially with games like these. And like I said at the beginning of this, the biggest problem with these asymmetrical versus games is the player base dies out and then you just don't have a game anymore. So this is a great way to combat that. Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm so glad you're highlighting that, dude. That is so cool. And this game looks like, like when you say Tremors, like it's not, this is a cute Tremors, I guess.
Yeah. The animation style is like cute little Gumby characters. Like you play these little cowboys. It looks like, what are the games that got Gang Beasts? Yeah. It looks like the gummy Gang Beast characters. Yeah, it's very cartoonish. But yeah, that's a great idea. So I know we're getting back into the DLG game nights, which is awesome. Maybe throw this out there as a suggestion if anyone's interested.
Yeah,
this would be a good time.
This would be fun as hell and free for a lot of people to join in. That's cool. I bet I don't bet, but maybe you get to play the game, but maybe you don't get to customize your character. And then maybe you have so much fun. You're like, I have 15 friends that I'm not currently playing with. I'll buy the game for them. And plus I can customize my character, keep some sort of progression or something. dude.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, the
it's
front
not-
pass is a marketing strategy as well. I mean, I think they do that just to try to get to monetize on other people who play the game, like it, and then want to invest in it, which I think is fine. But a lot of times it also allows for situations like we have, where it's just like we've got one night that we get together with a whole bunch of people and we need a game to play, and nobody wants to cough up like $10-15 for one game they're going to play one time and never touch again.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fucking
you can customize your Tremor so cute. There's like a green caterpillar, a little bee, and then like a skeleton. Oh my God, there's like a snowman one that's covered in a scarf and looking so cute. Bot, dude. Awesome. Great.
Bot. Heroes of Hammerwatch 2. So I was going to talk about this game because I thought the first one was a gigantic success. And so I looked up how many so they have like 7,000 reviews. I thought it was like, it's going to be on 20, 30,000. But I tried playing it. It's a roguelike action. Here we go again. Roguelite action RPG, where the first one was really, there wasn't a whole lot going on. There was like a castle and you kind of try to take over the castle with your randomly generated character, and people loved it. It had really good reviews, and I just couldn't get into it. But the second one seems to have a lot more going for it. So it's like 8-bit graphics, which I tend to like, not because of the looks, but because the developers can do so much more with those low graphics. You get a lot more synergies, you get a lot more characters, you get a lot more things like that generally. Not always, but so there's 7 classes and there's a town building. So kind of like what I was referring to you earlier, Chris.
Town building. Whew.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
But
Let's go.
not the way that you think, but like every run you make gold, and then that gold you put into your town.
Oh, like Loop Hero or something kind of.
Yeah. And then every subsequent run you're a little bit stronger. So anyway, so it's a successor for the other one, but this is 90% positive score right now. It's $15.
15.29, baby.
Yeah, 15.29. It's 15% off. I might be picking this up. I don't have a roguelike right now, so I'm gonna try this out.
Nice.
And see how it goes.
Well, it's interesting that they call it a rogue. Oh, sorry, it is a roguelite, and you said it was. Never mind. You keep your progression from run to run because you have the town, of course. That's silly.
Exactly.
I'm going to be talking about a little game called Drop Duchy. So this is a Tetris city builder meets Slay the Spire. It is what it is, dude. It is what it is. So you drop your tile blocks. First of all, this is literally everything I could want in a game, by the way, before I go on. You drop your tile blocks, which is like you start with natural resources. So you're dropping fields, forests, mountains, and then you have buildings that you're going to drop to fit into those sections. And if you drop a farmhouse by the fields, all your fields become wheat, etc., with all the other resources. The next thing you're going to drop is other buildings. So like your castles, your city hall, and it just goes down. You play it like Tetris. Lines get cleared or solidified as you drop this, and you build a town up in a run. Then you take your resources and it goes to your meta progression to unlock other buildings and other cards and armies. Because eventually, like Slay the Spire, you're picking your path throughout the wilderness, and there's going to be these armies that you have to defeat and these towns you have to siege with your resources that you've built up with all these other runs. So kind of like boss battles in Slay the Spire or something. Anyways, when I saw this, the graphics aren't bad. Like it looks,
I like it.
Yeah, like a city builder typical graphics might be. Like it's not anything crazy, but it's also visually very pleasing. And I saw this on my feed right after I was playing Slay the Spire, like right after I got really into it, and I was like, dude, they've talked to me. Whoever's up there, the Steam gods, maybe it's Gaben himself listening to this podcast, putting things in my feed. I don't know. But yeah, this is a crazy synergy of a lot of things that I like. So I'm excited that
Did you
it
pick
will
up the
be.
demo?
I haven't played the demo yet. No, it's coming out in a while from now, April 2025. So it's on the wish list. And yeah, maybe I should play the demo. Why not? It's free.
Why not? Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Emilio. Yeah.
I got a story. I didn't tell this story. I randomly play TF2 once a month, and I was playing, and as you play, you randomly get items, and so it's like you got a new item. I was like, all right, cool. So I'm looking at my items, and then suddenly, all of a sudden, I was like just drawn into my inventory of 10 years of playing this game, and I'm like, let me see what I have here. So I had a bunch of shit that I didn't know what it does because I'm not really into that part of the game. And I have a lot of loot boxes, and loot boxes cost $2.50 to open. And I was like, I got about 15 of these. I was like, maybe I should start clearing these out. Maybe because it's older stuff, it might be worth something if I get something good or whatever. So I said, fuck it. I'm going to throw $10. I'm going to buy 4 keys. So I open a couple of loot crates, get your typical fucking trash, and then I was like, I'm going at this wrong. Let me try to open the loot boxes that look the rarest, whatever. So there's this one that says like secret stash or something. So I open it up, and I get something called a bat saber for the scout. I've never seen this thing in game. Instead of a basic wiffle ball bat, he has like a bat saber, right? It's pink, and it's like, it doesn't do anything else, but it just looks awesome. And I was like, oh, I'm going to equip this. This looks awesome. And then they're very good about this. You can right click and just say like put on community market to sell it. So I was like, well, let me see what it's worth before I equip it. It was $550.
That's so crazy.
And I was like, oh my God, is this true? Is this really what just happened? And even within the very rarest, which is what I got, there's levels within that rare, and I got the bottom of that. But still, I ended up selling it with 2 days I netted $350 because Lord Gaben took $70. Here's the problem. So they give it to you in Steam credit. So I've got fucking $350 in Steam credit right now. And you can't transfer that back to your bank. It's just stuck.
Dang.
It's one of the things about Steam I dislike all of a sudden because I didn't know that it was a thing before. Bobby, you talked about this before, right? It's happened to you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like 5 years ago, maybe, I sold everything in my inventory. And this is when people were still collecting a lot of emojis, wallpapers, and other items that you would get from crafting cards. And nowadays, you earn points by buying stuff from Steam, and then you spend that on like much cooler looking animated backgrounds and profile pictures and stuff. So nobody cares about that old stuff. But back then, it used to be worth, I don't know, the collection I had was worth a lot of money, and I made over $1,000 selling all that stuff out. But yeah, Steam takes a big cut, and then if you sell enough, then you actually have to claim that as income for taxes. So I got I don't know, whatever form it was in the mail that year when I had sold all that stuff on Steam. It goes quick too. So I got all that money, and I did the same thing. I was like, I'd really rather have this in my bank account. So I was telling people like, hey, if you need something on Steam, like send me the cash. I'll buy it for you on Steam. I'll give you like a little discount or whatever. That didn't really work. So eventually I was just like, you know what? I'll just have all that money in there. And then whenever I want a game, I'll just get it. And it'll probably just, it covered me for years. Like for years, I didn't spend a dime on Steam. But then I also found myself just buying stuff just to kind of spend it. Like, yeah, sure, I'll take like all these weapon skins for this Call of Duty game I never play. But,
well, I was just going to say, Emilio, Civilization 7 is coming up, and you have a Canadian struggling, just so cold in Canada right now. Could use the warm fire of like, what do you say, like a 5%, 10% discount?
Oh yeah, I'll do that for you if you want.
Yeah.
Well, my other thing is like, I'm looking at that OLED Steam Deck now, and I'm like, maybe that's the way.
Yeah, maybe it is the way.
But although, isn't Steam Deck 2 like being rumored right now?
Really? Oh, I didn't hear that rumor. I know the Switch 2
Yeah.
just was announced, but anyways, subs and donos, Bobby. Who do we got?
We've got Recycled subscribing for 77 months. He says, "Oh, no way. I'm here on time-ish."
Nice. He also asked a question in Twitch chat. Do you get weird friend requests all the time? I sold all my stuff because they wouldn't leave me alone. You get weird friend requests, Bobby and Emilio, having high Steam levels or weird items?
Bobby used to.
I used
a
to
lot.
all the time. My Steam level really isn't that high, and nobody cares about that anymore anyway, so not so much anymore. But occasionally, yeah, I'll still get a weird friend request, but it's usually from some sort of artwork or video that I posted.
Oh, cool.
Generally, I get like weird ones, and then I just check how long that person's been around, what level, what Steam level they are, how long they've been on Discord, and if it's not a long time and there's no kind of history, I just, it's probably like some sort of bot or something, or somebody just getting into PC gaming that is reaching out for a hand, and I smacked it away.
Not today. Listener
touch
questions, Bobby. What do we got?
All right, first one coming from Warconius. He asks, anyone going to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? Also, any update on Sniper's Mass Effect playthrough? Are you on Mass Effect 2 yet?
I'm not on Mass Effect 2 yet. There is slight updates to the Mass Effect playthrough, but I think what I'm going to do with this is come back multiple times through the year and kind of like recap the Mass Effect that I'm on until I'm finished them all, because I am still getting a little bit of time to play it, but it's in like 45-minute intervals basically. So it's going to take a while, and I'm taking some notes too before I really build up enough to have a little story of where I'm at in Mass Effect. So that's coming.
So I played Final Fantasy VII remake. Yes, remake. And I had a really good time with it. It was one of my favorite games of that year. What was it, 2 years ago? And then I saw that, when you beat the game, they pretty much say that we're gonna get away from Final Fantasy VII, the original stuff, and we're gonna kind of go in a new direction and stuff. And I don't know, man. I really, even though I really enjoyed it, I don't see myself spending $70 unless I know that I have a bunch of time, which I never have a bunch of time. So probably not.
Womp womp.
He also asks, lots of big upcoming AAA releases: Spider-Man 2, Civilization 7, Kingdom Come 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, and Avowed. I haven't heard of Avowed yet. I don't know what that is. Any of interest from you guys? Kingdom Come 2 would be the one that I'm most interested there. But that's definitely not something that I buy right away. That's something like 2 years later on a steep sale I'd probably pick up.
Right. Well, we're having a Civilization episode. Me, Nick, and Amanda are going to pre-purchase Civilization 7. I applied for keys, but I know we won't get any. So Amanda's already pre-purchased it, and we get to play early. And so our episode will actually coincide with the Civilization release. So as you're thinking about buying the game, maybe picking it up, you'll have us to hear on Civilization 7. Our history with Civilization games from Civilization 1 all the way to this one. And then our playthrough, we're going to get together and play as a group for this release. So yeah, should be fun.
You know what's interesting about that, dude, is like you guys all play Civ independently with your own friends. It'll be interesting to see what you guys think about each other's play styles.
Yeah. Yeah, it will be fun. I once played Civilization with a coworker when I worked at a catering company. And it was just me and him and a bunch of bots. And I was like, okay, a Civ game, great. We know the unspoken rule of a Civ game is you wait till halfway through to really start pushing if you're only playing with two people and a bunch of bots, because you want to experience the game a bit. Nope. He capped I built on the coastline. He capped my capital city with a galley. Game over, 35 minutes. He's like, fun playing with you. I was like, what the fuck? We're never playing again, asshole. You play Civ competitively? Okay, I'm going to come at you next time. It'll be fun.
They need a co-op mode in Civ. I was just digging through my screenshots and I found the one I was looking for. Apparently I did save it. I had a screenshot from when I played Mass Effect, who knows how many years ago. Just posted that in the Discord under the NSFW.
Nice. Cool.
All right. Next question from Pyronical. He asks, how's life? Love that question, by the way. Just checking in, man. Sometimes you got to ask people, just how's it going?
Yeah. Good. Great. I'm so fulfilled every day. So that's good.
I don't know what the fucking saying is. It's like everybody knows who Superman is, but nobody asks how Superman is, or something like that. You know.
Yeah.
Not saying that I'm Superman, but I am the main player. I figured out this weekend while I was on mushrooms in the desert. I don't know. Things are good. Yeah, they're not terrible. Just kind of fall into a groove. I am in this like weird state in my life where I'm like not employed, but I'm not looking for a job, but I am being productive. And I also have like multiple options of which way I can go for the rest of my, or like what path I'm going to go down. I have a lot of serious thinking and stuff to do, but it's rare that I'm at these points in your life don't come up very often. So I want to make the right choice.
Nice. You posted a picture of you at a job site, so I guess I didn't even check in or ask you. I just assumed you had gone back to some job.
I'm working.
Oh, you're
I'm not
working.
getting paid. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's called a slave. No.
Nice. Digging the tunnel to Mexico. It's all good.
Yeah.
How about you, Bobby?
Yeah. I'm doing good, man. I'm in a good spot. Just I don't know, just enjoying mostly everything that I do. I mean, work is work, so it's kind of hard to like. Who was it? I think it was Burn Division during like the online DLG con. I was talking to him. I just went on like a rant about my job. Sorry about that, by the way, but I don't know. I actually do enjoy my work, but it is like super stressful. And it's like, unlike Emilio, it's like I can see my future just spread out for the next 20 years. And like, that's my life. And I kind of wish sometimes that I would have more, like junctures in my life where I could like make these big decisions and go different directions, but you never know, things like that could happen professionally. Aside from that, in the personal life, I mentioned a few weeks ago that my girlfriend and I were trying to sell our places and move in together, but having trouble selling the places, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, if you're out there, you can own Robert Digital. That's right. The noise that's been coming through your headphones for the last 5 years. His apartment, one of a kind. Going once.
Yeah. I mean, I knew this going into it, like just the San Diego market. It's just, it's not like it was 2 years ago where things were just flying off the shelf. But, my place has been on the market like a week and a half. So, be patient. We'll see. Yeah. But we just got real excited and we're just like did all this stuff. And now we just had to like basically hurry up and wait. So that's been kind of disappointing, but whatever. We just got to be patient with that.
Nice.
But yeah, life is good, man. Can't complain. Cool. We got DLG Con being planned. I'm excited about that.
Nice.
Did
you fill out the, is the survey out?
It is. Yep.
The survey is out. Yes.
Bobby, did you fill it out?
I did. Yes.
Oh, interesting.
All right. Final question from Zap. What's your favorite non-gaming related hobby?
Funny. Go ahead.
Sorry. Riding my bike. I love two pedals. Pedal, pedal, pedal. Go everywhere on my bike. Feel the wind in my face. Feel the freedom in my legs. Yeah, I just really love riding my bike. I don't know what else to say.
Do you have well-crafted legs, Christian?
Yeah. I'll go to the gym and I'll be like, oh, I did legs. She's like, why? She's like, stop. She's like, too much legs. Too much. Stop doing legs. Yeah.
Bobby, well, you got your servers. I don't know what they do, but you have those.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always finding fun projects around the house, and that's why, again, going back to my job, not going to get super into it, but they're doing a something called a SERP, or a golden handshake, where they're basically giving people incentives to retire, like a little bit of extra money paid out over 5 years. So we got a ton of people retiring, and there's so many people that I'm talking to. They're just like, I don't know, do I want to, like, dude, I'm just like, I will trade with you right now. Like, when I am 61, people are going to be like, are you sure you want? Yep. See you later. Bye. Like, dude, I'm not even going to think about it, man. Like, I got so much other shit that I want to do. Like, I do find a lot of stuff that I do at work very fulfilling, but like, I do that stuff at home on my own anyway. And I do it without like people bugging me about their fucking printer not working, So it's like, I'm not really
when
worried
I messaged
about
Bobby with something like technical for the podcast, I'm like, I forget, Bobby, what's my password? He's like, is it change me 1 2 3? I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, that is my life. But yeah, man, I got all sorts of like little technical projects going on the side. But for me, like, something that I had to like figure out was like, I have a lot of things that I tell myself are hobbies, but really I'm just like giving myself more things to do, like playing piano, or like the schoolwork that I'm doing. Like, I do enjoy that, but sometimes I'm just like telling myself that, and I don't acknowledge like that's actually work, and like that's actually like time and effort and stress that you put on yourself, like to like improve at those things. And you need like something that actually is like literally just like gaming is, where it's just like a release almost. So, I try to be like real honest with myself about like what I consider a hobby or something that I enjoy doing, and not something that I just think I need to get better at or tell myself is like a hobby. And for me, I don't know, nothing comes close to gaming, but gaming, movies, and reading, but only in books, not in video games.
Yeah. It's like my critique on your life, Bobby, is that like you're always like, I don't have any time, but like all your time sinks are like self-imposed and like voluntary. Like my time sinks are like, if I don't do what I need to do, people will starve. So it's like, and then if you don't do things that you have to do, like your piano will not be as good. But I mean, it's better than being slovenly for sure. For me, I guess, well, everybody knows I'm huge into Magic the Gathering, especially now. Oh, by the way, I have a TCG store now, and it's been selling, and I've been making some money. It's pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
Which is one of the avenues that I might be transitioning into, but we'll see.
Oh, that's exciting, dude.
Especially now that like Sam has seen that the money's coming in and that there's money to be made. She even volunteered to do it. She's like, maybe I should do this instead of you. And I was like, okay, dude.
Only if you name a card shop. What is the name?
It's Loco Game Store.
Local Game Store.
So just to like fucking, I don't know, explain that. Local Game Store is like where you're supposed to go to buy your games. It's your local game store. But this is Chula Vista. It's heavy Mexican and Spanish speaking. So Loco Game Store. It's the crazy game store. Right?
That's pretty good.
Oh, wait, sorry. I thought this was maybe a digital thing, but this is a physical store.
No. This is a digital thing.
Okay.
On TCG, within TCG Player, which is like an eBay for trading cards. I have my own. Yeah. So that, I guess that, but that's also gaming. But I would say I had such a fucking good time, dude. I think maybe camping might be my other hobby now. And it's funny too, because like the other guys spend thousands and like they have a Land Cruiser. 2 of them have Land Cruisers that are specifically for overlanding to get us out there. They've got all the gear, and I literally show up with like a pillow and a dog, and I'm just like, I'm here, I'm gonna sleep outside, all this stuff. And then it was 35 degrees, I was dying, and they all saved me. They threw their extra stuff at me, and I fucking stayed warm somehow. And I don't know, I think it's important to do something like that like once a month or something. So
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. That's our final listener question. What's everyone playing next week?
Oh, that's a great question, man.
Oh, jeez.
Why
don't know again.
Why are you hitting us with the tough questions?
God, Bobby. Jesus.
Oh, so Rebirth is only $48 right now. Maybe I was way off. Interesting.
All right.
But no.
So I really want to give Marvel Rivals like a proper go. So I may do that, or I may do what I said last week and play that demo or that beta of Sand if that's still going on.
If Sand comes out, I think I'm going to hit that up. But there's also this game called Yield Fall of Rome, which is like a hexagonal, like tabletop board game, but digitalized. So I might check that out.
This is not like something to be talked about on the pod. It's not like a thing that I'm gonna, but I do have a small workout plan where I want to put like weights on my wrists and play Beat Saber to lose some weight and get some exercise in. Like, why wouldn't you have fun if you could, you know? So
yeah.
I'm going to give that a shot and see how that goes this week. Other than that, I don't know. I have no idea.
Wear that bow rat, the thin stringy one, and then we'll just stream it right to Patreon.
Ooh.
I think that could be another benefit for any of you sick fucks who want to see me.
My darkened asshole. All right. Speaking for Bobby, Christian, and myself, darkened titties, everybody.
Nice.
Bye-bye.
What are we listening to, Emilio? What's happening?
I don't
Do you
know.
find
This is
weird?
fucking weird. Yeah. It's weird. It's creepy, weird. And if you didn't have told me it was a space game, I wouldn't have known that. I would have thought it was an RPG.
Yeah. Just unsettling.
Sounds dungeony.
Yeah.